you can't convince someone that you're a woman if you're talking to them like a man does. I don't know what it was like for you when I was coming out, but I did this in Mississippi. I'm going to break some news
Mm,
today. I was actually the
wow.
first person to ever transition at the at Ole Miss, which
Wow.
was really difficult. Let me tell you.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
the way I worked with those conservatives was I really tried to get them to see my humanity
Yes.
as a person, and I tried to it was hard getting misgendered, but flaming
Yeah.
off and screaming at them just wouldn't have gotten me what I needed.
That's right.
And I think you and I have seen a real generational shift
Hmm.
um, where it's less about coexistence and it's more about conquering people.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you, or does that
Oh,
match your
nope.
experience?
I'm totally in alignment. That's what it feels like
Yeah,
to me. It doesn't feel like they want to coexist. You always wanted to coexist with women. That's why the
of
majority of
course.
my friend base was trans women, and they still are. I have a huge friendship with trans women because they're like you. They're
Hmm.
not the ones who are attacking women. And it hurts me also as a female because I'm a
Hmm.
female. And that being said, lived half my life, honestly. I'm 62 now, half as a woman and half as a man. And it hurts me to watch the way some of these trans women talk to women. And how do you expect what you said is so profound? The reason why I think you are because you realize, okay, people are not going to definitely accept me here, especially in Mississippi. You got
Right.
to find that sort of middle ground space.
You can't tell them you're a woman. You have to show them you're a woman. And,
Brilliant.
part of that is a deportment and a
Hmm.
social control. And,
Hmm.
when I was transitioning, one of the first things I did was I started reading books on how women communication works.
Hmm.
And, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that it feels very natural to me, like coming to agreement, turn taking, giving people space to have their own opinion. And I can't help but look at like the technical aspects of women communication and note respectfully that a lot of my sisters don't seem to employ this stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you can't convince someone that you're a woman if you're talking to them like a man does, in my view.
I mean, you just basically said it. I don't understand this. You're going to say I'm a trans woman or else I mean, you're going to say I'm a woman or
Right.
you're never going to talk to me again. I'm like, that is coercion. And so what if the person doesn't really believe you're a woman, but they're just saying it? Like, I don't want
I don't
somebody.
care. I don't care.
Exactly. Like, what?
The
It's
standard I
heartbreaking.
hold myself to, and I'd love to know if this is how you feel. So I can't control how people feel about me, like on a philosophical level.
Right
It's
on.
just not something I can control. As best as I can tell, hand to God, when I'm out there living my
Mhm.
life, I get called she, her,
Of course.
don't get misgendered, all that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. As best as I can tell, if people like know that I'm trans, like they still talk to me like I'm a woman, which
Yeah.
is 100% that's all I need. I don't need to fight some philosophical battle. I'm literally just trying to go about my day. And
Hmm.
I think it's almost a neurosis that it's about an unwellness or
Yeah.
an unconfidence in yourself
Yeah.
that people are expressing by trying to control people's thoughts, if that
Yeah.
makes sense to you.
Well, it does, and that's why I think people have so much respect for you because first off, you look like a woman, so
Oh,
you're actually making the effort, which is what I always say. We as transsexual people have to come to the table in a different way.
a hundred percent.
Yeah, we I don't expect anybody to make it comfortable for me. I do not. I make it comfortable for myself and for them. And as far as I know, remember I transitioned 32 years ago, and it really
That's
did
right.
navigate that space and understand and why the world calls me he. Nobody,
Hmm.
people only call me she now because there's a war bullshit going on. But that those people I don't take seriously, right? But what I was going to say is you make the effort, you look it, you sound it, you walk it. There's no way anybody, even when they find out you're trans, they don't care because you've made and to me it's respect. You're very respectful towards the space, if that makes
I
sense.
try to be, but this
Yeah.
is what I don't understand is why would you not want to do this? You posted a video the other day of someone claiming to be a trans woman and they had a beard. And
Yes.
I'm going to say it respectfully, and I'm not going to say they're not valid, but I will say I don't understand. because
Yeah.
when I started getting, secondary male, effects,
Right.
it was really traumatic for me, Buck. I'm sure it was
Right.
traumatic for you when you were
That's
growing
right.
breasts or started,
Mm-hmm.
getting
Mm-hmm.
a period. Like, I don't understand, like, I really don't, how you could have those parts and not want to minimize them as much as you can. And I understand, like, there's a difficult genetic roll of the die, and FFS is expensive.
That's right.
Like, I have compassion for that. But shaving, that seems like a really obvious thing to me. I mean, am I crazy about that?
Oh, come on. I've been around you women. I've been around you women for a long time, and I know exactly they would never. I have hundreds of
No,
trans women friends would
no.
never step. So I'm sorry, but I got to call them out. I've got to call them out because I know dysphoria. Okay, I know dysphoria from this side and your side. I've been
That's right.
around it for a long time. There is no actual. That's why. Look, I don't care. Be what you want to be. I'm the same.
Sure.
Respect your space, but then don't encroach on other people's spaces, being the women's space as well as the actual transsexual people who really do make an effort to sort of, we try to look male and female enough so that it eases our dysphoria. And it also, if you notice, it eases the world's
Of
way
course.
they look at us. That those people to me are not trans. They're gender, queer, non-binary, blah blah blah. That's fine. But why don't we have that category over there and stop coming over here? And then I swear to God, if we did that, could see a lot of this stuff not be so insane.
I think these people are very young and they don't
It's true.
understand just how much better it's gotten.
Yes,
I'm old enough to have transitioned under the Benjamins before the W path even existed.
that's right.
And, I transitioned, my first diagnosis was with the DSM-3 and then
Mm-hmm.
later the DSM-4. You look at the DSM today, and the standards are so low for gender
Disgusting.
dysphoria. It
Yeah.
seems like clinical malpractice. You don't have to even follow Benjamin's anymore.
Nope.
You can just go into a clinic and
That's
say,
right.
I want this. And, this is a spicy opinion, but Buck, we're both trans, and I think if we can't tell the truth to each other, who can we say this to? I have been around the space long enough to know there are some people that are fetishistic cross-dressers,
Thank you.
and I think they have a fantasy
Thank you.
about a very sexualized idea of womanhood,
Yeah.
and I think there is no system to stop them from getting on hormones nowadays. And I personally believe they're going to Planned Parenthood or whatever, and they're enacting a fantasy. And I think they're going to go on a journey where they're going to learn there's nothing feminine inside of them. And this is why they do things like they don't take anti-androgens because they enjoy having penises.
Yeah.
And I think this is a formula for you and I. I think our medical condition has been colonized, if that makes sense to you.
Yes.
Like, I think they're appropriating it. And that's not a concept I talk about a lot because it's weird, but I think it's the appropriate language.
Yeah, it is. No, you say everything there. We are in 100% alignment. My background comes from the sexual space. My background
I
comes from
know.
sex work. My background comes from pornography. My background comes from married to a very famous dominatrix. That I was around all of that. Those people used to come to the dungeon, and they were cross dressers. That's why my eyes. I know who you are. I see you. Thanks so much for watching. And you can watch the full interview on my podcast channel. And the link will be right here, or it could be right here, or maybe here, but I'm not sure. But you'll see it right here somewhere. And with that, thanks again for watching. I appreciate you all so much, and I'll see you soon.